Hi, welcome to The Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and this is a yoga video based around yoga for healthy posture. So it's a yoga sequence specifically is designed to get us out of this position, that kind of computer or texting, hunched forward, forward head, tight shoulders, tight chest, very painful, uncomfortable. We're going to do the opposite. We're going to open things up. We're going to figure out how to line our body up and stack it so that we have the minimum amount of tension and strain in the body. The whole idea behind having healthy posture is based around this idea of trying to minimize effort in the body, to have the minimal amount of effort for a relaxed and comfortable way to sit, to stand, to move, to sleep even. We can have healthy sleep posture. So it's all about kind of the rest of the day when we're off the yoga mat, how to kind of structure our yoga practice so that it helps us with all of those other movements that we do the rest of the day. So this is going to be a really wonderful sequence. It's going to feel really good. So to start out, we're going to come onto our backs. So I think it's going to be handy for this practice if you have a bolster or some folded blankets that you can make into a bolster. That'll be helpful. A block will also be helpful, and a blanket or a large towel. So we're going to start with the blanket, and we're going to roll it into a towel or a blanket roll for under our necks. So you roll it up to a comfortable roll, and you can adjust once you come down. You're going to come onto your back and slide that roll under your neck. You don't want the roll to be pushing your neck forward. So just comfortable where you can just kind of gently feel it underneath you. From here, go ahead, separate your feet so that they're wider than your hips and let your knees drop together. Arms relax at your sides with the palms facing up, and then go ahead and close your eyes. From here, with the eyes closed, just feel your body settle into the floor. Let it relax down. Feeling your breath gently rise and fall in the belly. And again, we're going with this idea of minimal effort. So trying to remove all of the effort out of the body to start. We're going to kind of blank slate ourselves. Let it all go. One of the things that can happen when our posture gets hunched forward is this suboccipital space. So the space right where our skull and spine come together can get very tight. That can lead to headaches and neck tension and even jaw pain. So we're going to release that area to start with. So first thing we're going to do are just little teeny tiny movements of the neck, or you can think of it as moving the tip of your nose. So if you imagine like the tip of your nose is like a pencil tip, you're just going to draw a line down. And it's going to be a very small line, just enough until you just begin to feel your neck push into the little roll under your neck. And then you're going to let it go. So we're just going to move on the breath. You're going to exhale. Hi, kitty, kitty. Exhale, draw the tip of the nose down. Inhale, let it release back up. So just little, sometimes they call them chin tucks or nodding the head yes. Just small motion, moving with your breath. At the same time, make sure your shoulders aren't tensing up, trying to help. Let the shoulders relax down. And just feel that gentle opening right at that suboccipital space where the skull and spine come together. And then go ahead and relax. And then from here, now with the arms still at your sides, you're going to feel your shoulder blades and how they connect to the floor. And then we don't want to pinch our shoulder blades together or tense up our back too much, but just feel as if you could push your shoulder blades into the floor. So if you imagine they're kind of sitting kind of against the ground, you're going to push them down. And as you do that, as you press down through your shoulder blades, you might feel just this gentle opening across the chest and the heart. So these are really small movements. They're almost isometric. They're barely moving the body. But what we're doing is we're priming some of these core stabilizing muscles in the neck and upper back that are going to help to support us when we have this nice, healthy posture. So you just gently press down and then release, just holding for a breath or two. Still feeling the breath moving into the belly and just feeling that little wake-up call to the shoulder blade muscles. At the same time, make sure your jaw is relaxed, lips together, teeth apart. And then go ahead, release. And take a breath here to just let everything melt into the floor. And then from here, you can gently roll to one side and come on up to hands and knees. You can move the blanket or towel roll aside, spread the fingers nice and wide, and we're going to move through cat and cow. So as you exhale, gently round through the back, let the head drop, and feel the back kind of move into that hunched position. And then as you inhale, we're going to reverse the motion for cow. Just gently gaze a few inches ahead of the fingertips. Don't crank the neck to look forward. Keep the neck long. So you exhale, rounding for cat, and inhale, arching for cow. Moving with the breath, and just waking up the spine, feeling those gentle extremes to motion, just as far as you can comfortably go. And cat and cow remind us with our posture that we don't have to be stuck anywhere. We can move. We can move out of that hunched out posture. We can come to a more open position. And go ahead, see what it feels like to, on the inhale, see what it feels like to shift the hips back a little bit. And let that back bend, that cow pose, come more into that upper back between the shoulder blades area, that space that gets really tight. Exhale, rounding, you can come back to neutral. And inhale, just a little shift back, dropping through the heart. Neck stays long. Take it through two more. Relax the face, the throat. Last one, exhale to round. Inhale, find cow. And then exhale, child's pose. Let your hips sit back and let your body rest down. You can rest the head on the ground, or if it's more comfortable to fold the hands or stack the fists. Resting from here, feel your breath dropping into your lower back. And then from here, we're going to move kind of through a little bit of a kneeling sun salutation. So from child's pose, we're going to inhale and lift up to hands and knees. And then exhale, finding puppy pose or heart chakra pose. The hips stay above the knees and the chest melts down. Inhale, shifting forward to come into Sphinx. Forearms on the ground, soften the back, but lift the heart. This is a great one for getting out of the texting posture. The chin tucks, breathing here. Sway side to side a little just to loosen things up. And then exhale, gently release down. Hands come under the shoulders for cobra pose. Plant the feet, pull the hands back towards the hips. Just a little lift of the heart. Feeling those shoulder blade muscles that we were waking up when we were lying on the ground. And then exhale, soften. Inhale, we're going to lift from the hips, rise it all the way up to a tall kneel. Circle through the arms. And exhale, hands to the heart. Flowing from here, inhale to circle. And exhale, heart chakra coming down, puppy pose. Inhale, elbows to the earth, soften the hips, find Sphinx. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, find cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift from the hips, rise it all the way up, circle through the arms. And exhale, hands to the heart. Once again, inhale. And exhale, puppy. Inhale, shift forward for Sphinx, lift through the heart. And exhale, gently lower down. Hands under the shoulders, inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower. Elbows tuck in at the sides, inhale, rise it all the way up. Circle through the arms. And exhale, hands to the heart. From here, go ahead, soften it back to child's pose. Soften through your back, let the whole body melt. And then inhale, gently rise up to hands and knees. From here, we're going to tuck the toes And we're going to lift through the hips to find downward facing dog. Thinking in down dog of doing more work with our legs than we're doing with our arms. The knees can always stay bent to help keep the back neutral. You want to avoid that bad posture in down dog. You don't want that rounded back. You want that nice long spine. And then from here, we're going to inhale to step the right foot forward and rise up for warrior one pose. The front knee is going to bend until you can just see the big toe to the inside of the knee. From here, let's interlace the hands and stretch on up. Grounding through the four corners of your feet. Imagine as if your feet were cars. Find the tires, and those four tires, those are your 4 points. Feel them grounding evenly. Go ahead, exhale, interlace behind the back. Feel the heart open. Soften through the throat. Exhale, gently take the hands to the hips. We're going to realign the body for warrior two. So that front foot steps in, finding heel to arch alignment. Bending through the front knee, reach through the arms, soften the shoulders. Legs do more work than your upper body. Freeing up neck and shoulders. Flip the right palm up, inhale, reverse warrior. Feel that gentle opening through the rib cage, through the waist. I always like to look down in this one because I feel like it gives a nice little opening, a nice release for some of those tense neck muscles, looking towards the back foot. And then on an exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. And then from here, inhale, left foot steps forward, warrior one. Ground through the back heel, bend through the front knee, and lift the arms. Once again, you're going to bend the front knee until you can just see the big toe. The hips square off forward. Ground through the four corners of the feet. Let's interlace. Inhale, stretching on up. Soften the throat, the jaw. And then exhale, interlace behind the back. Open across the chest. Again, that reversal of that hunched forward posture. Breathing here. And then exhale, release the hands. You can step that foot in, find heel to arch alignment for warrior two. Again, shoulders are relaxed like they just settle into the back. Arms relax like they're floating on water. Left palm flips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Again, you can look to the back heel if that's comfortable. And exhale, downward facing dog, stepping back. From here, bend the knees, go ahead, walk your feet up to your hands. Soften through the knees, bend as deep as you can, push through the floor, inhale, rolling up the spine, the knees don't straighten until you're all the way up. And then exhale, hands to the heart. From here, we're going to practice mountain pose, Tadasana. So you're going to bring your feet to touch. You can either have toes and heels touching, or if you feel like that kind of turns your feet out, depending on the shape of your foot, maybe you want your heels slightly apart. From here, we're going to lift up all 10 toes. Feel the toes spread as wide as they can get, and then gently place them back down. I know wide feet aren't always fashionable, but they're great for yoga. They really help you balance, and they give you a lot of support in mountain pose. So we're going to come back to those four corners. So you're going to imagine you got those four corners of your feet, and then take a moment to close your eyes and feel your weight shift around as your body searches for equilibrium. So feet are probably the most important part of standing posture. If we have our weight uneven in our feet, we're not going to be even through the rest of the body. So just feeling that, taking your time, try and find that evenness of weight. Most of us carry more weight on our heels, so sometimes it takes a little effort to find those front tires, front points of the feet. Once you've got them, then you're going to feel the arches of your feet lift. It might help to lift the toes up again to feel that lift through the arches, and feel how when you give that little lift of the arch, it engages that whole inner leg. You might find that as you lift the arch, you lose that kind of front inner tire of the foot, so maybe you have to soften the arch a little bit to stay grounded through all 4 points. But once you got that nice lift of the arches, that grounding through the 4 points, waking up through the legs, then you're just going to imagine like you've got a puppeteer string coming out of the crown of the head, and we're going to remember that suboccipital space at the back of the neck. So to get us out of that forward head posturing that a lot of us spend way too long in, texting, computer, whatever it is, we're going to just gently slide the head kind of back and up so that we balance our head over the rest of the body. If you find that you're lifting your chin to do it, maybe try, this is the fake mustache technique. Give yourself a fake mustache so that it keeps your eyes level, and then slide the head back from there. From here, notice if your hands are backwards, if the thumbs are pointing in, and let the palms of your hands softly rest against your thighs. So we're not turning in through the shoulders. We're letting things stay open, but we're not pulling our shoulder blades back. We're letting the shoulder blades soften as if they're kind of resting into pockets. And then from here, if comfortable, take the hands to the heart, and once again close your eyes to just get this sense of balancing your body like building blocks. Let the belly be soft so the breath can drop down. And this is something that you can do all day long, is you can come back to mountain pose, back to this feeling in the feet, in the legs, feeling of floating through your spine, taking the effort off the neck and shoulders. And then opening the eyes. Go ahead now, separate your feet so that they line up with your front hip points. And let's take a nice little chest expansion, forward fold. Exhale as you interlace the hands behind the back, roll the shoulders, and then you're going to sit back through the hips. Keep sitting back, let the knees bend until your belly touches your thighs, and then let your head drop down. You can stay right here, or if it's comfortable, release the hands away from your hips. Breathing here, let gravity do some of the work for you. Relax the neck, the shoulders. Feeling your breath moving. Don't hold your breath here. Not such a good idea. And then gently release the hands and step it back again to downward facing dog. Draw the weight off the arms. And then rest back down in child's pose. Let it all go. And then from child's pose, we're now going to come all the way forward onto the belly and play around with Salambhasana, locust pose. First variation, we're just going to bring the arms by our sides. We're going to lengthen through the body, including the neck. So tuck the chin and feel that length reaching from your toes to the crown of the head. Just a little lift. We don't worry about lifting as much as we think about lengthening, creating space. Breathing here. And then as you exhale, go ahead, fold your hands at the top of the mat. Let your forehead rest down on your hands. From there, you can rock the hips side to side to release tension out of the back. And you can stay with that first variation of Salambhasana, or maybe feel what it feels like to interlace the hands, roll the shoulders back, and lift a second time. Breathing here, again, create length. If you imagine you're flying, the pose is instantly easier. And then exhale once again. Fold the hands, rest the forehead down, maybe sway the hips side to side. Release any tension that's crept in the body. This is another great anti-hunched forward pose. And then last round, you can stay with either of those locust variations, or maybe moving into a bow pose. If you can comfortably take hold of the feet, let your knees gently draw towards each other. They don't have to touch, just feel them draw in. And then you're going to push the feet into the hands and inhale for a little lift in bow, or stay with locust, either one. They both are fun. Breathing here. And then exhale, gently release. From there, this time take your hands under your shoulders, tuck the elbows, lifting up. And then exhale, child's pose. Let the hips drop back, let your body relax. Hi, kitty. Hi. She's a natural yogi. Breathing into your back, If there's any tightness in the back after those back bends, that can be normal. We don't do a lot of back bending, most of us, in our daily lives. So just breathing into that sensation. Let the back soften, let it relax. And then as you're ready, we'll come back up to hands and knees. And then from here, we're going to come to seated. If you've got a blanket handy and you want to prop up on the blanket, feel free. We're going to come to a comfortable cross-legged position. As you come to cross-legged, now thinking again about stacking the body like building blocks. So we don't want to be slouched back on our tailbone. We don't want to be too arched forward though either. So you feel your sits bones, those pokey bones at the base of the pelvis, and go ahead and kind of rock forward and back to try and find that neutral pelvis. From there, again, imagine you've got that puppeteer string, and because most of us are too forward in our heads, drop the chin, maybe do the little fake mustache move, and slide your head back just a little bit, back and up. Open that suboccipital space. And from there, notice if you're holding your breath and let it go. Let the breath drop into the belly. And then we're going to take it into a gentle twist. From here, we'll twist to the right. So you can take the back of the left hand to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, right arm lifts to the sky. And exhale, gently flying to the ground behind you as you twist. Soften through the shoulders. Feel free to stay here, or if you want a little extra release of tension in the neck, you can turn your head forward again and just kind of tilt your head, tuck the chin, maybe lift the chin, kind of seeking out that stretch in through the right side of the neck. Gentle stretch, don't be too aggressive. The neck will tighten up if you're too aggressive. So just a little tiny movements, seeking it out. And then once you find it, you breathe. And exhale, gently release. Switching the cross of the legs, and we'll take the other side. Again, find your building blocks, stack everything up nice and tall, take the tension out of the shoulders, back of the right hand to the outer left knee, and we're gonna inhale, lift the left hand to the sky, and then exhale, take the hand back behind you for the twist. And you can stay twisting here, just imagining like your spine is like a vine making its way up a pole. Or you can turn the chin forward and do the little maybe tuck of the chin, maybe lift, maybe side bend. Just kind of little tiny movements, seeking out a gentle stretch in through the left side of the neck. Once you find it, you breathe. And then gently release. From here, we're next going to move into a restorative pose. So to come into this restorative pose, you want to grab your bolster or your stacked blankets. Usually 3 to 5 stacked blankets is about the right height. And your block. The block, go ahead, start it off on the highest height. That'll probably be too high for most people, but easier to shift it down than it is to shift it up. From here, we're going to do a really awesome heart opener. So you're going to come to lie back on the bolster with your arms off the bolster so that we're not kind of here where the shoulders are resting down. The shoulders are actually coming up and over, and then the block goes under our head. So you can see here for my anatomy, this is too high for the block. It's pushing my head forward. So another option would be to lower it down one level and take it down there. This is where most people are comfortable. But you can also see what it feels like. Maybe flip it down one more level and drop back down. From there, let the arms open out at your sides, palms facing up, and feel that amazing opening across your chest. You might feel pretty tight here, but as long as it's a comfortable stretch, it's a good place to hang out. As you breathe, feel how your inhale can really expand and open the chest. As you exhale, let it melt back in. Using the breath to kind of open a little bit deeper. Feel free to close your eyes. Notice where the tension is in the body. And then those little spaces of tension that you're feeling here, that's where you're too tight throughout the day. So you can maybe throughout your day think about these areas. Think about ways to open them, to release that tension, to let go. And then from here, you can just gently roll to one side. You're going to clear the props away. Bring the bolster down low because we're going to have it under our feet in a minute. But first, just come back onto your back. And take that kind of breath of, that sigh of release as your back just melts into the floor. And then from here, as the back is melting in, I like to just move with my legs to get the bolster in place. You can do what works for you, but you're going to place the bolster under your feet. So you got your feet up on the bolster, and we're going to take a twist from here. The feet resting on the bolster. Let the knees drop to the left as you twist the body over to the right. If it's comfortable, turn your head to the right. See how that feels. If the neck doesn't like it, you can gaze straight up. But from here with the feet on the bolster, it just moves the twist a little more into that mid-upper back area. Noticing your breath, feel free to close your eyes. And then inhale, bring the legs back up. And then taking the other side, drop the knees to the right, and you can gaze straight up or turn to gaze to the left. And then bringing the legs back up. And from here, we're perfectly positioned for Shavasana. Just let your legs rest onto the bolster, arms at your sides, palms facing up, close the eyes and melt. And as you rest here in Shavasana, without any physical effort to it, feel your body just melt into the floor a little more. Thinking about undoing those habitual tension patterns. Noticing where they might creep in. Maybe your shoulders are pulling away from the earth. Maybe your jaw is clenching. You notice these things, use your exhales to just let them melt away. Think soften into the forehead, the temples, the floor of the mouth, the throat. Soften into the chest, the ribs, the belly. Feeling your back melting into the floor. Arms and legs are heavy. As always, you can pause the video here and stay in Shavasana as long as you like. When you're ready to come out, wiggling fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Any gentle stretching that feels good. As you're ready, you can hug your knees into your chest, maybe hug them in. Feel your back relax into the earth, rocking side to side. And go ahead, roll to one side and rest there, resting your head on your arm. And as you're ready, slowly making your way back to seated. As you come back to seated, once again, find your full height. Find that sense of neutral pelvis. Let the body lengthen upwards, let the shoulders melt down. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I hope you feel a little taller. I hope you feel some of that release of tension from the neck and the shoulders. And again, you can think about some of these principles all day long. Doesn't have to be just on the yoga mat for a mountain pose or for this seated pose. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed yourself, that you're feeling good, feeling tall, and tension-free. And if you enjoyed this video, maybe check out some of my other ones. Thank you so much. Namaste.